like that. Woo!
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Twitter, TikTok, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe, all of our YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? Hit that notification bell, buy the subscribe button. Let's get it popping. All right, as y'all can see, you know what I'm saying? We got the Pull Up Basketball Podcast about to start. You know, Cash App. If anyone hit that Cash App, you see on the ticket right there. $ BJ Matthews, $ BJ Matthews. Let me just also say this, man. These videos that we put out, we make sure we do a lot of research, we do a lot of soul searching, and we make sure we take our time with these topics, man. So we always appreciate all the love and support. So we want to make sure y'all give y'all quality content. You know what I'm saying? So to my guy Big Titan, was good with your brother. Salute. All right. I got a lot to talk about this subject, bro, because there's a subject that's going around right now that's NBA free agency has been going on, and in my opinion, it's probably been the best free agency we've had probably in the last 4 or 5 years since the whole KD situation and what happened with that. I think this has been the best, definitely the best NBA free agency we had in a while. And talking about this situation, Rudy Gobert has had his. This has been a trade for Rudy Gobert going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. As y'all can see, I feel like the trade they made for this has been a mistake. And I'm gonna go through real deeply why I feel the way I feel. Several reasons why. Not just by, the fit of the team, but also I think Minnesota's stupid. I also think that Utah got better. But I'm going deeper into that. So let's get it going. Salute to my man, the realist as well. You know what I'm saying? Sit back and watch. You know what I'm saying? As y'all know, Rudy Gobert was traded from the Utah Jazz to the Minnesota Timberwolves just recently. And everybody was up in arms, was pretty surprised about it, including me. I was kind of like shocked. I was thinking Gobert was going to go to a team where, they can probably use him. And that's not a disrespect to, Rudy Gobert as the player, but I'm talking about you have to find a team where a certain player fits. It's not enough just to have a name, right? Rudy Gobert, as y'all know, he's a 3-time defensive player of the year, multiple time, double guy, averaging over 15 points and like over 10 rebounds a game. He's an inside presence. He worked very well with that Utah team for a number of years in that paint, protecting the paint, had a high PER rating. And just being honest about it, man, like if you look at his numbers, he averaged 15 points, ever since 2016. Look at his numbers right now. From 2021, 2016, he's averaged over 15 points a game. Couple of seasons like 2017, he averaged 13.5, and 2016 14. But y'all can see he's flirting around 15 points per game. And then he's averaging over 10 rebounds clearly, 10, 12, 13, 14 rebounds a game. And then you got to look at the team in Utah. They were very successful, especially getting high seeds in the playoffs. I think last season they ended up being a number 1 seed in the Western Conference. You know what I'm saying? Continue to hit that like button, y'all. So he served his purpose in Utah. You know what I mean? So that's Utah just being a team that Gobert they can use for him is why he has so much, shine. But again, things have to fit. He felt with that Utah team. He fitted right in. But it wasn't until last season when they lost Joe Ingles and they realized they didn't have enough perimeter defenses when they started seeing trouble. Now people think Utah is just blowing it up and Utah is just not, they're just trying to start over and tank. And I thought that too initially, but I had to kind of look a little bit deeper on what Utah was trying to do. Because Minnesota, I looked at what their roster was and I looked at Utah's roster, and I kind of was just like thinking to myself, Utah only had one player they had to trade. Minnesota had to trade 3 players, including draft picks. And then I looked at the quality of players that Minnesota had to get. They gave up for the quality players that Utah gave up. I was like, it seemed like to me Minnesota had to give up more of their culture and then more of their toughness. Because look, the three players that Gobert got traded for was Malik Beasley, who is a very good, solid 3-point shooter who can stretch the floor. 6'4", 6'5", has good size. You know what I'm saying? Just, pretty solid player all around. Was pretty good for them in the playoffs as well. He could, shoot the three, shoot the mid range, somewhat drop to the basket. So, he's a quality, nice little piece. And then you got Jared Vanderbilt. Now, this dude was very, very good for them in the playoffs as far as defensively. I'm not talking about scoring. One of the problems with Utah is that they have a hard time scoring the ball. They have a very difficult time. No, I'm sorry. They have a hard time playing defense on the perimeter. That's why Rudy Gobert would look the way he would look certain times in the playoffs, because he had guys getting right past him, like the Donovan Mitchells, Jordan Clarksons, Bogdan Bogdanovic. Those guys don't really play good D. So then Gobert would be left by himself by the basket, getting scored on all over the place. So this guy Vanderbilt plays defense. He moves his feet. He's long. He's athletic. So he could be he's a very valuable piece for the Utah Jazz defensively. You know what I'm saying? Defensively, he's a very, very big piece. But then this is the biggest piece right there. They let go. I can't believe the Timberwolves did this. They let go Pat Bev. I don't know why they let him go. Well, I know they wanted Rudy Gobert, but I'm saying, if y'all look at Patrick Beverley, and this ain't gonna show up on the stat sheet, he's responsible for the Minnesota Timberwolves' success as far as making the playoffs. He's responsible for them making the playoffs last year. Now, if y'all look at this tweet, this is what Patrick Beverley said right after getting traded to Utah. He said, "Always business. Wolves, thank you. Time to take another team to the playoffs." Which a fun fact. Here's a fun fact. Every team that Patrick Beverley's been on, he has went to the playoffs with. He went to the playoffs with James Harden in Houston, right? He led them to the playoffs. He goes to the Clippers pre-Kawhi, pre-Paul George, when it was just him and Lou Williams and Montrez. And you know what I'm saying? Those guys on the team, SGA, he took that team to the play. He helped lead that team to the playoffs. Now, people are going to say, well, he didn't score a lot of points. But the thing about a guy like Pat Bev is he brings a certain swagger to your team, a certain edge to your team, a certain toughness to your team, culture to your team that you're going to need in the postseason. That's what Pat Bev does. You know what I mean? So he did that for the Clippers, and then he did it with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. And I remember watching the series last year. He was very big for the Clippers. He was very big for us, 'cause I'm a Clipper fan. He was very big for us last year because he was responsible for, causing problems with Donovan Mitchell in the second round, as well as Devin Booker in the third round. He was responsible for having the team camaraderie in that locker room, being somewhat of a vocal leader. Some things are not going to show up in the stat sheet, but that Patrick Beverley does. He goes to Minnesota, and then he takes that team to the playoffs after them having a 23-49 record the season before. Y'all gotta remember, the Timberwolves were terrible. The T-Wolves were terrible. Let me pull this up. They were terrible. Let me move this out the way so y'all can see. This was 2020, 2021 season. Timberwolves were 23-49. They were a terrible team. This was right before Pat Bev got there. And then if you look at their roster, this was their roster just a year before. They had the same core essentially that they had the year they got Pat Bev, which was just this past year. Malik Beasley was there. Anthony Edwards was there. Ashton Higgins was there. Jaden McDaniels was there. Naz Reid was there. D'Angelo Russell, Karl Anthony Towns, Jared Ben. That's 7 players essentially, and that's pretty much your core was all there, and y'all still had a struggling record of 23-49. So they didn't have no big roster changes. Ricky Rubio, he got moved to Cleveland, and Juancho Herman Gomez went to Utah. Ed Davis was there as well. So that's 8 players. So the only change they had was this guy right here, Pat Bev. And then they go from 23-49 all the way to Let me pull this up. 46-36, the 7th seed. Pat Bev was responsible for that. He brought the edge to that team. Anthony Edwards, it's not a coincidence that the first season Anthony Edwards was looking unmotivated. That's what a lot of people were saying around Anthony Edwards' first year. He goes his second year last year. He looks like a totally focused killer. And then this guy was the person constantly in his ear, speaking encouragement, saying he could be the next Michael Jordan, all that stuff, and giving them that confidence. Karl Anthony Towns, he seems to play with so much more of a chip and an edge on his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? And they go in and beat the Clippers in the playing game. They wouldn't have done that without Pat Bev. The leadership, the toughness, the culture building, they trade that away. So that's why I'm saying the T-Wolves made a mistake trading all that and draft picks for a guy, Rudy Gobert, who does, PER-wise, put up a lot. But I'm going to say this, why they messed up. Because now you have two guys, yes, they're 7 foot, but you also have two guys that can be very rattled mentally. And I'm saying Karl Anthony Towns is a guy who can be rattled mentally. He can be very emotional. He can, get out of character, get out of control. He's very, very talented and skilled. But mentally, he can fall off. Anthony Edwards is very young. He's very talented. He has a lot of competitive edge to him, but he's also very he's only 20 going on 21. I'll leave it at that. D'Angelo Russell plays in Spurs. One moment he looks like he's an all-star, like he was in Brooklyn. The next moment he looks like somebody switched place with him, his twin. And then if you look at the rest of their roster, I mean, really Minnesota, again, they went 23-49 the year before, so they don't have a lot of names on that roster. So you traded 3 core guys who play defense who can score for a guy, Rudy Gobert, who you hope can take you to the next level. I just think that was a bad move. Now, there's another aside of this, because we got to talk about Utah. Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, there was a quote that Rudy Gobert said basically right after Utah got eliminated by Dallas. He said either him or me. He told the front office, either you trade Donovan or you trade me. Now, at one point in time, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert were somewhat pretty cool. They were somewhat close. They had somewhat of a relationship. You know what I mean? You got to remember, Utah was a team that's been pretty high seeded throughout the season the last 3 years. Ever since Donovan got there, they've been to the playoffs every single year. They've had this tandem for like the last 4 or 5 years. They've been to the playoffs every year of them. And they've been high seeds. 1st seed, 4th seed, 5th seed, you know what I'm saying, 3rd seed. Like, they've been high seeds, having, instant success. But then down the line, after the whole COVID situation, if y'all don't remember, where Rudy Gobert was the first one to catch COVID in the NBA, he was actually playing around at a press conference, touching the microphone and everything like that. And then it was announced he caught the COVID. Salute to my man, Soccer Updates. What's good, Bubba? Y'all hit that like button. Y'all continue to hit that like button. But going back to what I was saying, they were somewhat of they had a good relationship and they had a good tandem going. But after the whole COVID situation with Rudy Gobert, spreading that, and then Donovan Mitchell getting sick off of it, that's when their relationship went down. And at least that's what's reported. They tried to deny it. Guys like Quinn Snyder tried to deny it, but we all know that stuff wasn't like it was supposed to be before that, prior. Then you start seeing the Jazz losing in the playoffs to teams like the Denver. They lost to the Denver Nuggets, giving that 3-1 lead up in the bubble. They lost to the Clippers the year after, which was last season, when Kawhi got hurt. And then they lost this year with Luka Doncic missing the first 3 games. So they obviously was not on the same page. And it was because these two, they didn't, for whatever reason, they weren't able to lead them. Now, you get Rudy Gobert out and you add these other dudes I just named in, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, and Patrick Beverley. I'm telling you, they got something in Utah. They got some toughness now. They got some guys who can spread the floor. They got some length on defense to help guard. And they only have to give up one player to do it. You know what I'm saying? And then if you look at Utah, they've been competitive the last few years. Like I told you, you make these type of moves and you have a team who was 49 and 33 just last season, and you got the most of the same quarterback. You got Donovan Mitchell, you got Jordan Clarkson, you got Bogdanovich, you got uh Hassan Whiteside, you got Michael Conley still there as well. You still got your pieces there. But I just think the thing with Utah they were missing was I feel like they were missing uh consistency and closing games out. Well, now you got a guy like this in Pat Bev. I think he would be the perfect piece to up that Jazz team their focus. Now I said this earlier. I said Pat Bev upped Anthony Edwards. He upped Anthony Edwards' production. Could you imagine what he can do with Donovan Mitchell? I've been saying this for a minute, man. I think Donovan Mitchell is definitely an all-star, but I also think there's been times where he has shown like, he does he can get, a little bit too jump shot happy. He can get a little bit too sporadic. But I think a guy like Patrick Beverley can kind of, go to him and kind of, tell him something, and I think he would actually, follow suit. Right? I think Pat Bev would be that guy that can, challenge the locker room and challenge him and, get them all on the same page. I'm just being honest. Because I've seen Pat Bev do this to every team he's been on. You understand what I'm saying? So, again, with that, and then you got Vanderbilt and Beasley there as well. Man, those are some good pieces for Utah. And I was like, as I thought about it, like this morning, I was like, yo, Utah they actually won this trade. I don't think Minnesota's gonna be, I think they're gonna be worse. Because again, they were just 23 and 49 the year before. They went from that to 46 and 36, and the only big contribution, the only big change to their roster was Patrick Beverley. You know what I mean? And then they got rid of the relationship. They got rid of Rudy Gobert. And I think Rudy Gobert's a little bit immature anyway. So you match him with Karl-Anthony Towns, I'm interested to see how that's going to work out when they both get upset and mad at each other. Oh my gosh, I want to see how that looks. And then Anthony Edwards, just cooling, chilling, what I'm saying, shooting jump shots. This is not a discipline. We've been saying Minnesota. First of all, Minnesota, what do we keep saying? They're talented, but they're dumb. They're a dumb team. They're not smart. Breaking news. What's up, Bruce? Los Lakers and Brooklyn Nets are actively engaged in trade discussions centered on the respite Kyrie Irving package. Oh yeah, I already knew that. I already knew that. I was already I thought you was coming with something else. They've been doing that. They've been talking about that. But let's keep it going. I'm gonna let y'all in. Hit this comment section, bro. But again, I don't think that they really. I don't really. I guess I'm gonna say I don't believe that that the Timberwolves won this trade. I think the Utah Jazz won this trade. I think the Utah Jazz got the better of the deal. I think Minnesota made a mistake trading for Rudy Gobert. I think they got rid of all their bench. They got rid of all their core. And yeah, man, it's or all their defensive toughness. You got rid of 3 defensive players, and I don't know if Utah demanded this. I don't know how smart they are where they demanded like to get all of Minnesota's good defensive players. Because essentially all is going to be the same thing with Rudy. He's going to be frustrated in Minnesota because, again, where's all the perimeter defense on Minnesota? He's gonna run into the same issue. Only difference is that he has Cat there with him. But Cat doesn't really play defense. I mean, yeah, he's a 7 foot body, but Cat likes to operate on a he's like an offensive dude. He don't really enhance defense. So I don't know what y'all think. Y'all think that Utah won this trade? Y'all think Minnesota won this trade? I gotta know. Y'all come in here. Y'all want to come here and cook? Drop the link. See, I'm just waiting for some more things for it to happen, man. He said the Los Angeles Lakers and Brooklyn Nets are actively engaged in trade discussions centered around a Russell Westbrook Kyrie Irving package. Lead sources tell Yahoo Sports. Yeah, I mean, until it happens, then yeah, we could say that. We gotta wait till the news come out, Bruce. If y'all wanna come in here and cook, man, we got the link up. Yup. Oh, snap, he right. He said that the Lakers and Nets are reportedly engaged on a trade involving Kyrie Irving and Russell Westbrook with optimism that it will get done. So maybe they are going to get this done finally. They probably are going to get this done. See, I'll look at the screen. Lakers and Nets are reportedly engaging on a trade involving Kyrie Irving and Russell Westbrook with optimism existing that it will get done. So I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt that. Because I don't know if the Nets really want to have to put up with another year of this nonsense with Kyrie, man. Especially in the summertime. He's thinking, like, just get over it now. Like, just go ahead and end the misery. So that's gotta be nerve wracking though. If you're Westbrook, that's gotta be nerve wracking. Every other day you in the news for a trade to happen or a situation gonna happen. Um, that's gotta be nerve wracking. Bruce and Bubba, if y'all wanna come in, come on, man. Before I shut it down. Yeah, man. That's the deal. But y'all think this is gonna be a good thing for Minnesota, or y'all think it's gonna be a disaster? Type in the comment section. Yep. Well, so far, no one wants to come in and cook, so we are going to end this live. It'll be a quick one today. Just wanted to check in on y'all with this trade, man, because I don't think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna be something where it's not gonna be as big as people think it is. And yeah, y'all continue to stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? Pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up. Peace. Out there like swimwear.